Hello you guys, Miss Steele here. I'm down at the bottom and I am recording what I'm doing with my hands so I can show you guys how we can work on our art project. So this week we have been talking about space and we have been talking about scale. So space is how far away or how close something is to us, while scale is how big or how small something is. So for this project, we're going to make our own Russian nesting dolls. They're also called babushka dolls, and they have other names too. But basically, they are these little dolls that get smaller and they all fit inside each other. So we're going to do our own paper versions. So what you are going to need is this printout. If you don't have it, I'm going to show you in a second how you can draw these shapes because it's pretty easy. You want a pencil and an eraser, and then as well you want something to color in with. I'm using crowns and I might also use my markers some. So you want your pencil and your eraser and then something to color in with, and then you want this paper, which this paper is in the art packet that you can pick up. But if you don't have this for whatever reason, what you want to do is you want to draw this shape and you want to draw it getting smaller. If you can see, mine gets smaller each time. Oh, you also need scissors because we're going to be cutting these out at the end. So scissors. I'm going to flip this over real quick and show you a quick way you can draw that shape. In case you couldn't pick this up for whatever reason, I'll show you how to draw it. So what you want to do is you want to start with a circle. And then we're going to draw an oval connected to this circle. So we want two lines coming out of the side like that. So we drew our circle and then we drew two lines coming out of the side. And then we want to connect them and we almost want to make a big U shape whenever we connect them. And the last thing we have to add is a little stand. And I just add a big round oval. So you would draw this once big, once medium, and once small. But since I already have them on the other side, we're going to work with these. So whenever we're talking about the nesting dolls, these little dolls that we're going to make, they get smaller each time. And what we were looking at with scale is when something's bigger, you can fit in more detail. And when something's smaller, there's just less area for you to even fit the detail in. So we're going to be able to add more detail on this. And then each time we work on it, we're probably going to add a little bit less in just because the scale gets smaller. What I'm going to start with is I'm going to start with a circle in each of these. And it's almost like this is going to be the face. So I'm going around and I'm making my circles. I think I'm going to go back and make this one a little bit bigger so I can fit in more detail. And then you can turn yours into pretty much whatever you want to. If you wanted to make them into cats or dogs or superheroes, you could do that. But I think for mine, I'm going to make mine look kind of like the classic sort of nesting dolls. So what I'm going to do in each of these is I'm going to add some lines for hair. So it's almost like this is their hair peeking out. Maybe this one I'll give her wavy hair. Maybe for this one I'm going to give her just straight hair like that. Now what else I could add in is the faces. So maybe I'm going to do our two eyes. Maybe I'm going to do them with closed eyes. So I'm going to make rounded lines and then I'll give them some eyelashes. If you want to do yours with the eyes open, you definitely can. And then the same. And then each time it gets a little bit smaller, if you can see. And then I'm going to add two dots for their nose. So I'm not going to draw a full nose, but I'm just going to make two little dots. Then I think I'm going to add two circles on the side for their cheeks to give them some rosy cheeks. And then just a half circle for a smile. So now what I can do is I can start decorating inside these, and I can decorate them however I want, but again, I'm going to be able to fit more detail in the bigger one and less detail the farther I go on. So maybe for these ones, I'm going to start with a kind of bubbly, sort of bumpy line like that. And maybe I'll add in a pattern right here in the middle, because we talked about pattern last week, so we know all different sorts of patterns. Maybe it'll go like that. And so I'm going to do this on the other two as well. But each time, what I'm drawing is going to get a little bit smaller because the scale's getting smaller because our little dolls are getting smaller. Like that. I'm going to go through and maybe add in some more details, and then I'm going to outline it, and then I'm going to get it colored in, and then I'm going to get it cut out. So I am going to keep drawing, and then I'm going to check in once I get it all outlined. All right, so I have this all colored, or all outlined. So now my next step is going to be coloring it in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to color them all the same like I did for kind of my details. If you see, there's kind of less details each time because it gets smaller, the scale gets smaller. So now I'm going to get this colored in, and then we will cut it out and we will be done. All right, so I have them all colored in. Like we did earlier, I drew the circles in the middle so I could draw faces. And then I decorated mine using kind of patterns and this flower shape. You guys can decorate yours however you want. You just have to remember that each time it gets a little bit smaller, so you're going to be able to fit in less detail. So our last step is going to be cutting these out. So that is what I'm going to do. Whenever you're cutting, sometimes instead of turning your scissors, you can turn the paper while you're turning your scissors, and that can help. And I'm following right along the line, cutting the best I can. And then again, because it's so round, I'm going to turn the paper as I'm cutting. Making for sure I'm careful and safe, of course, as always. And then you don't want to cut off the pieces, you want it to all stay together, so I'm just going around for the outside. And that's our first one cut out. So now we're going to cut out the second, and then our little tiny third one. And then we'll have it all done. So again, whenever I'm cutting, sometimes I'll hold the paper and I'll kind of turn the paper while I'm turning my scissors, and that can help me. I am going to work to get the last one cut out, and then we will be done. I can't wait to see how you guys decorate yours. So there is our second one. I can lay it right there because it's the same shape, but just a little bit smaller. And then here's our last teeny tiny one. You can make yours kind of different, like if you wanted to do animals, or you wanted to do superheroes, or something like that. Or you can do it like mine and kind of make them all the same. But just on the smaller ones, you won't be able to fit in as much. So they're going to look the same, but maybe not the exact same because there's not as much space. All right. Oop, I knocked it down. Here we go, kindergarten. This is our little Russian nesting dolls. You can see we have our biggest one, our middle one, and our little one. You can stack them all up on top of each other like that. And that is it. I'm excited to see how your guys' projects come out. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your morning, your evening, your afternoon. I will see you guys all later.